Hey there, welcome to our mushroom family. This is Michael here at Lone Star Mushrooms. In this video, I'm just going to give you the quick intro to how we got started growing mushrooms and answer the question that you all ask all the time. What the fungus were we thinking that we decided to grow mushrooms? How do we go from growing about a few pounds a week in our dining room to now over 1,500 pounds of fresh mushrooms every single week just outside of Houston, Texas. So we've been very fortunate, very blessed, and very grateful for the journey that we've gone on, and I'm excited to share that with you over the next several videos. So stay tuned. Let's jump into the first question. All right, so let's answer the question, how and why did we get started on growing mushrooms? So just to give you a little bit of a backstory, I grew up in rural Pennsylvania. My mom had several greenhouses. We grew lots of tomatoes, vegetables, peppers, onions, you name it, and then sold them there. And then I also helped my granddad farm about 80 acres at one point. And I loved it. I woke up at 6, went to work, got off at 5 or 6, went back to my granddad's, worked on the farm until it was pitch black and I didn't even see what I was doing. But I enjoyed every moment of it. And then when I came down here, I was like, man, what can I grow in a small space? I'll go from having, 4-acre backyard to 400 square feet or something like that. It wasn't very much. So I went to, where you go for any information, Google, and just search what can I grow in a small space. And hydroponic lettuce popped up. Thought I was going to say mushrooms. So I looked into hydroponic lettuce, saw that, hey, it's a thing up and coming. It was something you could easily do in a small space. Didn't require a lot of startup capital. And I was like, hey, I love some salads. Just a little tip, chicken salads, y'all do it wrong down here if you're in Texas or in the South, anywhere but Pennsylvania basically. And that is, you gotta load some french fries. Put a bunch of french fries on top, then some chicken, and then some pepper jack cheese shredded on top, a bunch of ranch dressing. Oh, can't go wrong. Don't forget the mushrooms. And then I lost my train of thought. So we'll have a few squirrel moments throughout this. I hope you're okay with that. So once we kind of built a mini hydroponic farm, I was like, all right, let's go test and try it out. Grew some lettuce, grew some herbs. Like, perfect, nailed it. Now let's go see about selling some of this, right? I can't eat. I was making quite a bit of lettuce. There's more than I can eat, even though I loved him. So I went to the Tomball Farmers Market and found the lady that ran it and told her, hey, I'm looking to grow on hydroponic lettuce. Want to come here and sell it? What do you think? And she's like, well, we have enough people that grow greens, but you should grow mushrooms. And I was like, mushrooms? She's like, yeah. I was like, I don't like them and I don't know anything about it. Honest to God. And she's like, well, we have a guy that comes once a month and sells out in about 45 minutes. I was like, good enough. So scrap the whole hydroponic lettuce farm and started learning about mushrooms. But fast forward 3 years later, I love mushrooms. I'm glad I was looking to get out of the rat race and looking for a hobby to find something different to do, and stumbled across mushrooms because it is an entire new world that I never thought or knew even existed. All I knew was the white button mushrooms you get at the grocery store, and those are, if you ask me, I still don't like them. I'm sorry, I can't ever cross that bridge and like the white button mushrooms. Fun fact: the white button, the Carmini, the baby bella, portobello, it's all the exact same mushroom. They just use different strains to get the different sizes, but at the end of the day, it's the exact same species. And the mushrooms that we grow, and the more gourmet mushrooms, are anywhere from 3 to 15 times more nutritious than the white button mushrooms. So that was around Halloween a few years ago, and we started in the garage. Actually, that's a lie. We started in the dining room. So I did a bunch of research. I thought they grew in the dark. I thought it needed to have like a basement, cold, wet environment. I was so wrong. I didn't know anything. Didn't have a clue. I didn't know the difference between spawn, spore, liquid culture, petri dishes. I had no clue. I should have paid attention in biology class. I'll tell you that much. But hopefully by the end of all these videos, we'll fill you in on all that so you can learn as I did and become educated on the mushroom world that exists out there, the world of fungi. So with that said, I'm going to save the next steps for the next video of how we grew our first batch of mushrooms, what we did wrong, what we did right, and then how we moved from the dining room to the garage. And I can't wait to share one story with you. It's absolutely hilarious. when we did our first batch of mushrooms, but there's quite a few of them along the way. I'll leave you with this tip. My favorite fact about mushrooms. I'll try to leave a tip or a fun fact at the end of every video. But Penn State released a study in the summer of 2021. They looked at a bunch of different cancer research studies. I believe it was like 19 or 17 and contained 19,000 people. And they looked at their diets over the course of like 40 years. And they determined those that consumed 18 grams, which is less than an ounce or less than a quarter cup of fresh mushrooms, not even dried, fresh mushrooms, reduced their risk of cancer by 45%. So us guys out there, we have a 50-50 shot of getting cancer before we pass away. Women have 1 in 3, and to be able to cut that in half is phenomenal, is powerful. So with that said, and now I'm going to get into that a little much later about why mushrooms are so beneficial to us to consume, and how to properly prepare them so that we do get the most nutrients out of them. There's a lot of information to come. I'm so excited to share it all with you. And with that said, much love. We'll talk soon.